G'day guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kras. We're going to jump right into the presentation. So in today's video, I'm going to be discussing which is the best online broker in Australia. Now guys, this is not an absolutely definitive video where I've analyzed every single broker available in Australia, and I've looked at hundreds of different factors and computed the absolute best broker for any single person. Guys, every brokerage platform is different, has different features, different fees, different interfaces, and will suit different people, okay? So the disclaimer here is that I'm going to be talking about this from the perspective of an investor and not a trader, okay? So as an investor, guys, honestly, the short answer is that no broker is the best. Reason being that if you're an investor, all you need to do is to buy shares and occasionally sell shares. Every single brokerage platform lets you do that. So I'm going to give you guys the quick answer right now, and within 30 seconds you can leave the video. Stay for the longer answer, okay? So the short answer is that in the past I've used CommSec, Options Express, CMC Markets, Saxo, and Self Wealth. Now, out of these 5 platforms that I've used, first of all, you can't get Options Express any longer in Australia. It doesn't exist, but that's besides the point. So the short answer is that I do not recommend CommSec. I do not recommend Options Express. I do not recommend CMC Markets, but I do recommend Saxo, and I do recommend Self Wealth. So if that's all you came for, then you can leave the video right now. But if you want to learn a little bit more about, the platforms, the pros and cons, then stick around, okay? Because the long answer is that I'm just going to give you my personal experience with this, and without further ado, let's get into it. But first, guys, a message from our sponsor. No, I'm just joking. First though, I want to talk about chess, and actually not that type of chess. I want to talk about this chess, the Clearinghouse electronic sub-register system. And the reason why we need to talk about this, what some people think is complex thing, which is actually not that complex, is because it matters, as we are going to find out, to the fees that you pay on your brokerage account. Now, what the chess system is, it's basically a fancy word for the ASX computer database, okay? That's all it is. The chess is a big computer, it's a big database that takes data every millisecond, every day, every trading day from every single market participant, and it helps from a legal perspective for the ASX to say, hey, at any given moment in time, I know who owns which stock, and I know who bought it and who sold it, who they sold it to. And that is part of the ASX's, the reason for them existing. They are the stock exchange. That's what stock exchanges do. Here in Australia, we happen to call that system the chess system. What does it mean for us as users of online brokerage platforms? Well, what it means is that we have 2 options. We can open an account that's called a chess sponsored account, or an account that's called an issuer sponsored account. Now, the only difference between the 2 accounts is that from the ASX perspective, from a guy sitting there behind the chess computer on the ASX, is that if you buy shares through a chess sponsored brokerage account, then the ASX knows that you, your first name plus your last name, you own the shares via your holder identification number. Now, this technically makes a chess sponsored account safer than a non-chess sponsored account or an issuer sponsored account. But it also means that you pay higher brokerage fees if you are operating under a chess sponsored account. The alternative is to basically be incognito to the ASX and have an issuer sponsored account. Now, under an issuer sponsored account, the ASX doesn't know that you, first name plus last name, own the shares. Rather, it sees that HSBC nominees, JP Morgan nominees, or Citigroup nominees own the shares, and all these banks are basically the banks that service the brokers, okay? So what happens if you have an issuer sponsored account is that when you buy the shares, your brokerage account knows that you bought the shares. The ASX, however, sees HSBC nominees as the share owner. So whenever that share pays dividends, it pays dividends to the broker. So the broker collects all the dividends from the different shareholders that own it, and the broker disperses the dividends to each shareholder within that brokerage firm. The CHESS sponsored account, they know that you hold the shares, so you get your money, your dividends, straight into your nominated bank account. Pros and cons. For one, you pay higher trading fees. For the other one, you pay lower transaction fees. Okay, that's all it is. Moving on. So let's get to the meat of it, guys. The 4 platforms that are accessible to you currently are CommSec, CMC, Saxo, and Self-Wealth. CommSec and Self-Wealth are Aussie companies. CMC is UK based and Saxo is Danish. Personally, I don't think that really matters to me, but it's just nice to know that. So what I like about CommSec, I like the fact that back when I was using CommBank and when I was using CommSec, and I don't use it anymore, but anyway, when it was linked to all of your CommBank accounts. So if you used CommBank for everything from, buying houses, buying shares, your day-to-day transactions, your business account might be on CommSec or CommBank rather. You can see every single one of your financial accounts in one spot. That was the beautiful thing about it. The thing that I also liked about it was that they had an ability to let you buy shares without having to transfer money into your CommSec account directly. That was pretty cool. And also the smartphone app interface is quite nice. The thing that I disliked about it is that the brokerage fees were too damn high, okay? Just too high. And also, I actually dislike the fact that you could buy shares immediately. To me, that can kind of cause issues to some people, and let's say that you want to buy only $5,000 worth of shares, but you accidentally press $50,000. You've got a problem in your hands, okay? CMC Markets, what I like about them is they have a pretty awesome calendar tool. Now, by the way, guys, every one of these online brokerage platforms have different tools to suit different investors and different traders. Of course, we're only investors, so we don't really need anything fancy, but the calendar tool definitely lets you look ahead and see what dividends are coming up, what reports are coming up, so on and so forth. I really like that about CMC Markets. They also have lower fees than CommSec, which I liked. The thing that I dislike about them, their smartphone app is just horrendous. I'm not going to say anything more about it. And also takes up to 2 days to move money in or out of your CMC Markets account. Saxo Trader Go. So the app and the online interfaces are both really good. It has quick money transfer in and out. So this is with direct debit transfer. Usually you can get money in there and out of it sometimes within 5 hours. So that's really fast. It has low fees, and I use an issuer sponsored account with Saxo. So I pay some of the lowest fees you can pay currently on the online brokers. The thing that I dislike about Saxo is that sometimes dividends are distributed later into my account than my other CHESS sponsored accounts. So in my other CHESS sponsored account, Self-Wealth, I would get the dividends on the day that the company pays the dividends. Whereas with Saxo, sometimes it can take up to 2 days to receive those dividends. Yeah, it's a bit of a downside, but has to be mentioned. Self-Wealth. Now, the thing that I love about Self-Wealth, and the thing that any investor should love about Self-Wealth, is the fact that it has incredibly low flat fees. So whether you invest $5,000, $50,000, or $50 million, you're going to pay the same fee. You're going to pay $9.50 for that trade, irrespective of the size of the trade. And of course, it has a downside. So there's a couple of features that I really don't like, and one of the features is this little sliding scale that they send you once a week that places you comparatively to other members. I don't give a fuck if some guy made 48% profit or gains in the last week. That doesn't benefit me. And I understand why Self-Wealth do it. They do it because they want to incentivize you and entice you to trade more, and then they make more money. But that feature really doesn't bother me because I'm a long-term investor doing my own thing. I'm on my own path. I don't need to know what everybody else is doing. I don't care. Secondly, they have a 2.5% rule for market orders, which just means that if you want to place a $10,000 market order, you need to have 2.5% extra buffer in there just in case if the price were to change from when you press buy to when the price is executed, okay? It's a little bit of a downside in my opinion. And of course, also, like CMC markets, it takes a couple of days to move money in and move money out, effectively freezing your money and you not being able to do anything with that money. You can't trade during that period, you can't buy anything with the money during that period. It's a little bit annoying. Guys, I really hope this video has shed some light on some of these online brokers. And if you've made it this far to the end of the video, well done. But I would guess that the people that make it this far are people who are still on the fence and still can't decide which broker to go with. Look at me, I'm currently using 3 different brokers, guys. Every broker has a certain advantage. Nothing prevents you from opening 3 accounts and trying different brokers and within 6 months closing 2 accounts and keeping the one broker that you like the most. Every broker, remember, every broker is going to suit a different person for a different reason. So stop waiting, stop being indecisive if that's you. Just go out there and just open an account, give it a crack. You'll see it's not that hard, okay? If you guys have any more questions about this or anything else, leave them in the comment section below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next video.